Today I'm going to show you how to remove the top end on your Honda or Honda clone type engine. Although some engines do have differences, the basic concept is going to be the same on all the Honda style horizontal motors. To take the top end off your Honda horizontal motor, you're going to need a few different tools to do it correctly. The most important of which on these old Honda motors is an impact driver. Due to the fact that these covers have Phillips head screws, they're really easy to round out, and the impact driver allows you to get them out very easily. In addition, you're going to need a hammer for the impact driver, an adjustable wrench. I'm using it for the head covers here. Again, it's not the best way to do it. I would recommend, I think my particular bike here has 14mm bolts, so 14mm socket driver would be great. But if you have to, adjustable wrench will work. You're also going to need a Phillips head screwdriver, a flathead screwdriver, a feeler gauge for adjusting the valve clearance, and also a socket driver. Alright, first step to get the head off is you need to take the engine case cover off and the head cover off. I'm working on a 1967 Honda S90, which means it's a point style ignition. You don't have a CDI box like the newer Chinese Honda clone motors. So there's just an extra step of after you take off the points cover here, you have to remove the points mechanism inside. But like I said, on most Honda clone motors, you just pull this cover off and you're going to see the cam chain and sprocket right under the cover here, where in my case I've got the points ignition here that I have to take off before get into the cam chain. As you can see, I got both covers off now. One important thing to find out is once you take your engine case cover off is you want to find on your flywheel where top dead center is. In my case, I have a mark here with T and a timing point here. So what you want to do is you want to rotate the crank around with your wrench, get it to top dead center. And you know it's a top dead center when there's a little play in the crankshaft when it lines up with the timing mark. If it's still tight when you get it to T, you know that you need to go one more time around since it is a 4-stroke. Next step after finding top dead center is you want to take off your tappet covers. I'm using an adjustable wrench, but again, it's not a very good method. If you have a regular wrench that fits this, I think it's a 17 or 19mm, I would recommend using that. That being said, the tappet covers are going to vary a little bit from motor to motor. But like I said earlier, all the Honda clone motors are essentially the same, so the process is at least applicable from motor to motor. Alright, the tappet covers are off. The next step for me, because I'm working on a point style bike, is to pull the points off. Like I said earlier, if you happen to using a CDI engine, this step's not going to really be applicable to you because you're going to pull this cover off and you're going to see the cam chain here. But I'm going to have to pull this off right now to get to the cam chain so we can actually pull the head off. It's a pretty easy process. 2 screws holds the points plate on. Pops off. And then you have to pull off this mechanism right here, which is just a matter of this one bolt, and then everything slides right out. The one tricky process when getting these points off on at least the S90, and I believe Honda CT90s are the same, and maybe even CT70s, is this mechanism has a clip in here, kind of similar to what you'd see in a master link of your drive chain. So all you really need to do is get a set of needle nose pliers, pop off each clip on each side, and then the mechanism should pop out very easily. Alright, now that I've got the clips off the points mechanism, all you have to do is pull the whole mechanism out, find your Phillips head screwdriver, remove these 3 screws here, and this is going to give you access to the cam chain and sprocket. And this one is tough right here, and this is where your impact driver comes into play. Just give it a little hit. No more rounded screws. Like I said earlier, impact driver, if you don't have one, is the best investment you can make. working on these old Honda bikes especially. So we got one more screw here. Pull it out, this cover comes off. And as you can see, right in here we have our cam chain and cam also. Alright, next step is to loosen the valve clearance on the tappets, top and bottom, intake and exhaust side. And what you want to do is you just want to back them out as far as they'll go. So you'll have the clearance in there when you want to pull the cam out of the head. You'll have room to get it in and out of there. One quick note when loosening your tappets, if you're having a whole lot of trouble turning them, most likely your piston is not at top dead center and there's some strain placed on the valve, so you need to make sure that you've got it at top dead center before you do release it, or it's going to be difficult. You'll know you do have it at top dead center because the valve tappet will have a little bit of play in it. That's obviously I've loosened it and that's too much, but you will be able to feel a bit of play to know it's at top dead center. I've got the tappet covers undone, the tappets loosened. The next step to getting the head off on the Honda horizontal motors is to take the head cover here off. It's 4 bolts. And you just want to do them in a crisscross pattern, loosen it, and pull this head cover off. I decided to heat some of my own advice when taking this head cover off and actually use the correct nut for it. Again, you can use an adjustable wrench if you need to, but you're just prone to stripping the bolts. So it's good to use the correct size when you have